It was a calm Thursday morning when I saw it. A red paper flapping on my front door like a warning flag. Final notice. Property seizure pending. At first I thought it was a prank, but the HOA logo was right there at the top, stamped and signed by Karen Monroe, the new president. The reason? Excessive violations and unpaid fines. Unpaid fines? That was impossible. I'd paid everything. The ridiculous $50 fine for my non-regulation mailbox. The $200 fine for my lawn being 3 inches too tall. Even the one for my American flag being too close to the curb. But apparently that wasn't enough. According to the letter, I now owed over $18,000 in accumulated non-compliance penalties. That's when I knew. This wasn't about the rules anymore. It was about control. The next morning, I drove straight to the HOA office. Karen was sitting behind her desk, pearls shining, smile sharper than glass. "Karen," I said, holding up the letter, "this has to be a mistake." She didn't even look up from her paperwork. "It's not a mistake, Mr. Walker. You've failed to maintain community standards." I laughed. "You're trying to take my house because of grass and mailboxes?" Her smile widened. "This community has rules. If you can't follow them, maybe you don't belong here." I took a deep breath. "You're making a big mistake." She leaned forward. "No, you are." I walked out knowing one thing. Karen wasn't running an HOA. She was running a kingdom.
It started small. Every day I'd see new faces around my property. People with clipboards, taking photos, whispering. They'd walk up my driveway and measure my fence, or the distance between my trash cans and the curb. Then one morning, I woke up to the rumble of a tow truck outside. My pickup, my work truck, was being hooked up. I ran out yelling, "Hey, you can't take that!" One of the board members said calmly, "Non-compliant vehicle storage, HOA order." I started filming. "You're trespassing," I said. "Unhook it now or I'm calling the sheriff." They laughed until 2 county patrol cars turned the corner. Turns out the HOA had zero authority to seize property. The sheriff made them unhook my truck and leave immediately. But I could tell Karen wouldn't stop there. She'd just been warned, and I just made her angry. The following week, I started getting new letters, fines for things I'd never done. Unauthorized structure, improper fence color, illegal garden placement. They were coming daily now, each one nastier than the last. My wife was panicking. "They're going to ruin us," she said one night. That's when I decided enough was enough. I stayed up all night digging through every letter, every payment, every signature. Then I noticed something strange. Multiple signatures from different board members, all in the same handwriting. Karen's handwriting. That's when I realized she wasn't enforcing the rules, she was forging them. The next morning, I drove to the county clerk's office and requested all public filings for the HOA. What I found made my stomach turn. They hadn't filed taxes in 3 years. Their business registration was expired. Legally, the HOA didn't even exist anymore. Karen was running a ghost organization to collect money, fine homeowners, and threaten property seizures. I took every document I could find, made copies, and sent them to a friend, an attorney I'd served with in the Army. After one look, he said, "Walker, she's in deep trouble." That night, I hand-delivered a letter to the HOA office. "Cease all actions regarding my property immediately or face charges for fraud, harassment, and extortion." Karen called me at midnight, furious. "You think you can scare me with papers?" she hissed. I replied calmly, "No, Karen, but the county prosecutor can." Then I hung up. Section 6. The Fall of the Queen. 2 weeks later, the sheriff's department showed up, this time for her.
They raided the HOA office, uncovering stacks of forged documents, fake fines, and checks she'd written to herself from HOA accounts. Karen was arrested for fraud, forgery, and property extortion. As they escorted her out, she screamed, "You'll regret this! You'll all regret this!" But no one said a word. The next morning, the local paper ran the headline, "HOA president arrested for fraud, community relieved." Neighbors came forward one after another with stories. She had targeted everyone, bullied them, drained their savings. I wasn't her only victim, just the first one to fight back.
Months later, the neighborhood felt alive again. Kids played outside. Flags flew proudly. People actually smiled. We dissolved the HOA completely and formed a voluntary committee. No fines, no threats, just neighbors helping neighbors. One night, I sat on my porch watching the sunset, my wife beside me. She said softly, "You really saved this place." I shrugged. "I just wanted to save our home." Across the street, the old HOA office sat dark and empty. The sign half torn down, the windows boarded. I smiled. "Funny," I said. "She tried to take my house, but in the end, she lost hers." My wife laughed quietly. "Guess justice still lives around here." And as the streetlights flickered on, I finally felt peace.